Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope you will always fit and be fine. The story I'm going to tell you today was sent to me by Rania. She is from Sialkot but has come to the University of Lahore to get her graduation degree and is staying there in the hostel of this university. So let's go back to the story and listen to her. My name is Rania, and I came to Lahore to graduate from the University of Lahore and stayed in the same hostel. I didn't have any special friendships with anyone here except a girl from the same area as me. I had a friendship with him and we lived in the same hostel. The hostel did not have our room but a hall in which 15 to 20 girls lived. And above each bed, there was a bed that was a double bed. We had our papers during the summer holidays, and the department that finished first would have had the holidays. That's how all the girls in Rome went home, and my exams were still going on. One evening, I was returning with paper, and in the last corner of the hall, a girl dropped all her hair on her mouth, looking at the window. I watched it for a long time, and I felt like it was doing art and wanted to scare one of my colleagues. Well, my mind is mischievous. I started making a video of it to show it to my friend. The video was just leaving when she raised her hair from her face. Her eyes were red as if she had cried too much. She was looking at me. I panicked and came to my room and told my roommate the whole thing. She called making my video immoral and told me that there are so many such problems with girls here. So it's better you stay away from these things. I blasted his point in jest. He said nothing like this happens. It's all rubbish. Well, the thing ended, and that night when it was time to go to bed, as I have told you, there was no one in the hall except me and my friend. I was alone on the bed downstairs, and she was alone on the bed upstairs. I had to go to the washroom at about 3 a.m., and I gave my friend a voice to follow me, but being fast asleep, she didn't wake up, and I didn't feel too good to ruin her sleep. I walked alone. The washroom went, and all was normal. But suddenly the lights in all the washrooms began to spin. 7 to 8 washrooms were combined. I washed my hands and applied soap to my mouth. Suddenly, someone slammed the door of the same washroom I came out of. I ignored that too, and I wasn't scared. The washroom lights were still burning out. I washed my mouth and came out. I felt like someone was walking along with me, and I was feeling the sound of her footsteps. I was very scared and quickly came and laid down on my bed and covered my body and mouth. Since it was late at night and it was quiet, his breathing and all the activity could be heard. She pulled up to my ear on my left side and stuck her mouth next to my ear to make a sound like chewing a tooth, like someone eating something with their giant teeth. The sound made me stand up and my condition started to become unstoppable. About 10 minutes later, I remembered the verse of Ayatul Karsi and started reading. Now the sound of this creature's footsteps was felt going to the door. And I too fell asleep, chanting Allah. I woke up in the morning, heard my friend say my illusion, and stopped talking. It was the weekend and I was home. It was night and at exactly the same time. That is, at 3 o'clock, all the same activity happened to me again. And I woke up too frightened now. And my sister was sleeping with me. It wasn't like I was alone and scared. I started to get very confused and didn't even sleep. I got up, turned on the room light and sat down on my bed. When my sister woke up, she saw me sitting like that. She asked me, and I told her the whole thing. He encouraged me and said, "I'm with you." I was worried that the hostel was all right, but she came with me to my house. They began to have other events in our house for days. One of them is that we had 25 pairs of lovebirds. Every time that creature entered our house at night, they would all go around each other like crazy and make noise. When we woke up in the morning, one of them would be decapitated, and the only structure left was the rest of the body. My older sister had raised them very affectionately, so she decided that she would notice at night who ate them. Then he was in my mind. Perhaps a cat or an animal of his breed attacks them. The next day, it was like this. She sat in front of the cage of these birds in her chair, and at 3 o'clock the same thing happened. All the birds began to roam each other's cages and were spinning as fast as if a sharp fan was moving. At the same time, everyone caught a bird and began to squeeze it, and as soon as they saw it, they planted it together. My sister was very excited to see this, and in the morning she blurted out these birds. After the incident, it happened that someone wrapped in a black cloth began to look like an animal. And he looked at me. I mentioned this to my mother many times, but no one was willing to believe me. They would have stopped me from thinking about the hostel. One day my mother was in a bad mood, and she was lying in the lounge at about 12 p.m. And the light suddenly went out. Ups wasn't even running. My mother asked my sister to quickly turn on the flashlight. She began to stutter the flashlight with her hand in the darkness, but nothing was found, so I heard the lounge door open. From there was a sigh of insertion, like someone pretending to bring a bag. This voice was felt by my mother as well as my sister. Now his footsteps started coming towards my father's room. He hit the door of my father's room so hard that my father went to 8 for now, and at the same time, the light burned out. Dad asked, "What was this thing?" So Mom said, "They made their presence felt." I also mentioned, "This is the same creature I used to see. He has no eye, hand, or leg. It's very strange. Its color is black and its size is heavy." My father was very upset. Things had now deteriorated greatly. My father was very upset. Things had now deteriorated. Mother shared everything with her friend. Mom's friend told me about one of her brothers who was a very good scholar. He came to our house the next day and he checked me out. He said to look me in the eye, so I did. He measured my arm and marked it with a pencil. After some time, the sign itself grew larger. The scholar said that something invisible had entered the house with the girl, and she makes him feel like he is. Because of the amulet that the baby has, she has not been able to enter her body. Then I remembered that my aunt had given me a charm. It was a fear-mongering charm that I kept in my bag. On that day, the scholar also gave out some amulets and said that the thing could no longer enter your house. From that day on, there was no such thing.